Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. JLR Investigates, come on in. Come on in. Reporting from the JLR Bat Cave back in Florida, folks. Was just on a West Coast trip, arrived home late at night. But we cover true crime 24/7, 365. Come on in, come on in. We're going to talk about Caleb Harris and the latest. Is that body Caleb Harris or not? It's very, very interesting what has transpired in the last 48 hours, and we're going to talk about that. There's some articles out about this body being found very, very, very close to where Caleb Harris went missing. The media outlets are reporting that a body has been found, but when they're reporting the body's been found, they're adding Caleb Harris's photo to their cover stories because there's a lot. Body's been found near where Caleb Harris went missing, but they're adding his face to it. And the police chief, I'm going to show you this article because the police chief has notified as soon as this body was found at a pump station, like right across the field where Caleb went missing, beginning of March, 21 years old. Soon as the body was found, the police chief contacted Caleb Harris's family immediately. So it's like, Now they say it's going to take up to 6 weeks, folks, to identify the remains. And when I say human remains, that's what we titled the last video, Human Remains Were Found. It seems like what they found, and we don't want to be graphic on JLR Investigates. We try to keep this PG friendly, family friendly on this channel. But the truth needs to come out, and it seems like the remains were in multiple different parts. So what in the world is going on here in Corpus Christi, Texas? Where to start? Also, we're going to share a clip from a local citizen journalist who I think is doing a phenomenal job. He was boots on the ground. His name is Eric. And he went closer yesterday. Remember we shared his live stream 2 days ago when he was at FAR. He was on Lexington, right there. What's the road called? Ennis Jocelyn, but he was at Lexington. I'm looking on the map here, and he was far. But this time he went even closer. So we're gonna talk about this because I think it's gonna, and I don't think it's gonna take up. They say up to 6 weeks, but I think we're gonna get an idea whether this is Caleb Harris or not. But man, I'm telling you, due to the fact that the circumstances of how Caleb went missing in the early morning hours, middle of the night, you can call it, and the proximity of where this body was found in a pumping station, considering that Caleb took that last Snapchat photo, right, of a bridge, like literally where the waterway leads to that pumping station. It's just like, and we don't want to say for a fact it's Caleb Harris, but I think the family, has an idea, but they've been awfully quiet. The family has not spoken about this. We've heard that the family, some of their family, I don't know, maybe his father Randy, went down there to see what's going on. The people in my chat were saying he lived about 2.5 hours away. This is a big, big deal because I think, if it's not Caleb, there could be some missing people around there. I've been looking, but not really in recent times. Years going back, there has been some missing people, but the situation and circumstances is awfully fishy here. And then if it is Caleb, then we're talking into possibly a criminal investigation, unless he fell through a manhole. And I was thinking, if you got some open manholes in that area, then you might have a lawsuit. We might be talking about a lawsuit down the line, the Harris family filing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Corpus Christi or officials for not having manholes covered, because if he was just out there, in the early morning hours and just fell into a manhole, somebody could be in big, big trouble. And this is all speculation, folks. This is all speculation. We want to be mindful that this could not be Caleb, but a body is found. Someone lost their life, and we're trying to get an understanding of what in the world's going on here in Corpus Christi. We're talking about, here's a little map right here. This is pretty good right here. This is pretty good. I mean, he went missing during the early morning hours. Snapchat of the bridge, right? It was dark out. And then his remains found, or not his remains, but remains were found right here at a pump station that handles the water, the sewage, all in that area. And then people have, searchers have put out that right around here, there are uncovered manholes. Now, this could be one of many or just one. Did Caleb go into a manhole? And then, people are saying, here's where it gets tricky to me. And again, I don't want to be graphic, but we're here. This is an adult discussion. And, to me, I wouldn't just, I don't just come on live when I say human remains have been found, like with Sebastian Rogers' case, right? We get all these like locations of bodies being found and stuff like that. And chances are, these bodies are found 2-3 hours away, and people are like, oh my God, is this Sebastian? And stuff like that. But this one, should be talked about because it's like right there. It's literally right there. But people are saying, if how did an individual, regardless if it's Caleb or not, and I do think it's Caleb, be honest, my opinion, that's why we're talking about it. I just can't see how it can be anyone else in that general area. It's within eyesight of where he went missing. But then my mind goes, how in the world did he get it? How in the world did someone get in a pumping station, whether it's him or someone else? How did they get into a pumping station, which requires you to go like in through these manholes and stuff like that? Because people are saying these ditches or these manhole covers or these areas where it's open, a body can't necessarily fit in there. Unless it's like pushed down there, or I don't know. Like, please explain that to me. Can someone explain the logic to that? But we're going to share what the police chief shared right here, because the police chief put out a statement. And this is the police chief of Corpus Christi. And he said, CCPD chief, it could take up to 6 weeks to identify remains in wastewater well. And it says here, it will take up to 6 weeks to identify the remains that were found in the wastewater well off of Lexington Road Monday. KRIS 6 News caught up with Corpus Christi Police Chief Mike Markle before Tuesday's morning city council meeting, asked him about the investigation now involving the county medical examiner's office. According to Corpus Christi Police Chief, around 3:30 p.m. Monday, city worker found the remains in a wastewater well off Lexington near Ennis, Jocelyn, and Holly Road. The remains were taken to the medical examiner's office, where Chief Markle said it will take anywhere from a month to 6 weeks. Whew. Man. At that time, we know whether we'll bring closure to existing cases or start a new case, or even if there's any foul play involved. Interesting. That's an interesting statement. At that time, we'll know whether we'll bring closure to existing cases or start a new case, or even if there's any foul play involved. When asked if crews found the entire body, Markle responded, almost. We found human remains. So to me, the whole body was not intact. Almost. The whole body was not intact, folks. That's a big deal. Markle is asking that the community be patient as the medical examiner does his job. I understand families are waiting, loved ones, and a lot of the community that are anticipating quick results, but we need to take our time and make sure we do this right and the investigation is handled properly. And we'll have to wait for some answers, the chief said. Chief Markle said he has spoken to Caleb Harris's family. Harris is the Texas A&M Corpus Christi student who vanished on March 4th near his apartment complex, 1900 Ennis Jocelyn, very close to where this body was found. We made them aware right away. We didn't want them to see it for the first time on social media or somewhere else. So, family of Caleb Harris notified right away by police. I think that's a big deal because, getting that call from that law enforcement, that's a family's worst nightmare in a sense, when you get that call from law enforcement. But in his case, it could be a good thing when you get called law enforcement because they might be telling him Caleb has been found safe. So, getting that call, they called him. So that, to me, that means like, hey, Caleb Harris family, we found something here, but we don't know, but maybe they told them that, hey, we think it's Caleb. I don't know. What do you think? Meanwhile, Markle praised the city workers who found the remains. City workers are great folks that worked hard with us. The fire department worked hard with us. Markle said that workers appeared fine at the scene, but didn't have an update on how they are doing today. I can't imagine for anyone that finds any type of remains out there. We've been hearing stories about how officers find missing children, or the Callahan case up in Mississippi with the child. Those officers that find these things, bodies, it's scary, and our hearts go out to them. And when I say things, I'm saying bodies or body parts, but humans, right? Humans. I can't imagine, it's a tough job for any law enforcement to find anyone deceased. I just can't imagine, and they're going to need some help and therapy themselves, right? And counseling themselves. Let us do the investigation that we know how to do. Let us continue our methodical approach. We want to make sure we do it right, and there's no shortfalls at the end of this. These things take time. So that's coming from the police chief, Markle. Praising that police chief right there. Kudos to him. So another media outlet has been posting about this particular case. They put out a report this morning on this Caleb case. I'm going to play this right here. This is coming out of San Antonio, one of the local affiliates there, News 4 in San Antonio. And we're going to listen to him.
For San Antonio at 10, I'm Jonathan Martinez. Tonight, people from Corpus Christi to New Braunfels are waiting for answers. A body was recovered in Corpus Christi, just a field away from the home of Caleb Harris. Harris has been missing now for nearly 4 months. The New Braunfels native and Texas A&M Corpus Christi student vanished just outside of his apartment. Police say they understand that many people want answers, but they also say that will require a bit of patience. Tonight, News 4 San Antonio's Mandy Noel in Corpus Christi with the latest details.
We've come to Corpus Christi in the months since Caleb Harris disappeared a handful of times, and today we return after Corpus Christi city employees recovered human remains from this wastewater lift station yesterday around 3 o'clock. Car after carload of people pulled up down this road, and more of them even continue to come tonight. Curious neighbors, they want to know, was it Caleb, was it someone else? In fact, Caleb lived in those apartments just across this field. That's where he disappeared from on March 4th. Police are working to answer those questions. Was it Caleb or someone else? We're just going to have to wait for a while before we get the answers.
We have to wait for the ME. Remember, the police do not identify remains. That's the ME's job. So that process is happening now.
Yesterday, city workers recovered human remains from this site. CCPD says the body was in an advanced state of decomposition. Identification will take time.
Probably a month to 6 weeks, depending on what they have available for forensics.
Randy Harris, Caleb's father, says he hopes and prays it's not his son.
Prayers and the best wishes for the Harris family is because it's my community. I live here. I am a bit of an outdoorsman. I'm a cyclist. I'm outside a bit. And Caleb went missing from parts of town that I ride my bicycle in. And it's just really close to home.
His missing flyers are everywhere, from Corpus Christi to New Braunfels.
A lot of folks looking for closure, a lot of folks looking for quick answers.
Police aren't sure how the body ended up in this sewage system.
So it's been pretty dry lately. And this tropical storm, I guess we got like 7 inches of rain over the whole event. And I think that just kind of shook up the sewage system, and wherever that body may have been, it just kind of flushed it out, if you will.
Police say there's no way to know right now if this was foul play or a terrible accident. For now, we wait for the medical examiner.
At that time, we'll know whether we can bring closure to existing cases or start a new case. Or even if there's any foul play.
And today's CCPD Assistant Chief Todd Green told me the body is undergoing an autopsy. It's possible we could have a preliminary cause of death sooner than we get an identification. In Corpus Christi, I'm Mandy Noel for News 4 San Antonio.
All right. News 4 San Antonio. You heard it. It's going to take up to 6 weeks to identify. And then, at that point, then it turns into an additional stage, in a sense, if it could turn into a criminal investigation or not. I'm leaning towards, if it is Caleb, I'm leaning towards an accident. Let me know what you think on that aspect. We're going to listen to a clip by Corpus Christi Chronica, who has been out there at the scene. his name is Eric, I believe. He actually put out a clip yesterday, boots on the ground. He goes up close. Let's listen. Let's hear let's see the scene. It's kind of have an idea of what boots on the ground is thinking. It's always good to get boots on the ground perspective, and people walk around and speak off the cuff and can actually speak things about, a situation. We love that. So here it is. Here it is. Here's the area. So this was yesterday.
All right, good afternoon, Corpus Christi. We are here live at the pump station off of Ennis Joslin, right across the street from the Cottage Apartments, where Texas A&M student Caleb Harris went missing on March the 4th. And just due to the proximity, guys, we're here at yesterday's find of human remains at this pump station. The pump station right now is being currently maintenance and being pumped, getting cleaned out on the pumps by the Corpus Christi Water Department. I have some information here in regard to some of the schematics and some of the engineering that goes behind this pump station. Now, some of the early developments show that the body that was found yesterday may have been washed along the sewer lines to this pump station. This pump station, what it does, it pumps the sewage water, wastewater, to the nearest location, which is going to be the treatment plant along the Oso Bay near Texas A&M Corpus Christi. With that being said, this pump station only has a 15 to 36 inch diameter pipe that runs to this pump station, where waste goes through the line and into this pump station to be pumped, but it cannot be pumped through the pumps. So yesterday's find of a body clearly shows that somewhere in this location, a body was placed deliberately, just due to the way the manholes are constructed. You're talking a very thick piece of metal that you have to lift up. And I just tried to lift up one of these manhole covers, and the manhole cover, and we're going to take a little walk through this area. This is going to be a drainage ditch along this area here, right? You have a drainage ditch leading along this area, along the cottages and into the Oso Bay, where floodwaters can go into the Oso Bay. With that being said, guys, we are here live at this location where Corpus Christi Water is maintaining the pump station here. How's it going? How's it going, ma'am? Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So we're going to have to move our truck real quick. Just hang on 1 second, guys. We're going to have to move our truck out of the way.
He thinks the body was placed there.
Just give me 1 second. I have to move my vehicle out of the way so the pump trucks can get out of here. Give me 1 second. Should have parked better here.
But if it's foul play,
please share this video
involved
with your friends and your family. We're going to get a little bit into depth about how this could have happened. And just give me 1 second, guys.
Again, all of this is speculation, folks.
Give me 1 second.
But the reality is there has been a body right where he went missing. So
I'm trying to park over here on this other side.
they said the body was almost intact. That's what the police chief said out of his own
I think
mouth.
they should clear out right there.
Almost intact.
All right,
so.
let's finish up this live real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, we have to get out the way for these pump trucks to move out the way. And once again, all right, so before I keep going, Corpus Christi Water Department just cleaned out the pump station here at the bottom. That's what they do routinely to maintain these pumps that pump wastewater out into the Oso Bay treatment plant that's along Oso Bay near Texas A&M Corpus Christi. With that being said, this area is where they have sewer lines that come to this pump station. Now, these sewer lines are 15-inch in diameter to 36 in diameter, and just right there, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to that location right there, because that's manhole. There's a manhole cover that's there. And yesterday, when they found human remains inside this pump station, okay, that pump station, they were looking for the nearest manhole, and that manhole right there only it's about 15 inches in diameter. Okay, now that leads to more interesting questions about the human remains that were found. I'm getting news right now, guys. It's not confirmed. You're right. It is not confirmed that this is Caleb Harris, but right here in front, between this pump station. Okay, so we lost. I can't get too close. I'm not sure what happened there, but I'll stick right here. We got 2 police officers here now. There were none here earlier, but all right, guys. Let me know in the comment section if our connection is still live. Okay? All right. Let me know in the comment section. Are we still connected? Okay?
You're connected.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. I never had this problem, but you know, there's always a first time for everything. Okay. Are we good on the connection right now?
You're connected.
Let me know. Please give me a thumbs up. Please share this video with your friends and your family. I'm going to try to explain
We're sharing
everything that we have gathered in the last 24 hours. Okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me, guys? Let me know in the comments. Can you guys hear me? Okay, we're working right now. Okay, I'm not going to get too close. I'm not sure what's causing the transmission to be affected in this area, but all right, we're good. Thank you for letting me know. Let's move on. So what we do know is that the remains that were found in this pump station right here in front of me, this is going to be your tan building. It's very small. Okay, it's about 40 feet by 25 feet. All right, the body that was found inside of this pump station wet well, which is, it goes down 17, 20 feet, 40 feet. It has not been confirmed. I don't have the exact depth of that well that goes in to the ground, right? But there was a body that was floating, or some type of human remains floating, that the Corpus Christi Water Department workers had found yesterday around 3:30 p.m., right? Around 3:31 p.m. yesterday. That was Monday, June 24th. Now, right across the street, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here, there's going to be a cornfield, right? You see this cornfield? Right across the street, in this vicinity, in this area, that is where on March the 4th, we had last seen Caleb Harris, right? He was last seen along this drainage ditch on the other side. That's going to be Ennis Jocelyn, guys, okay? We are on Ennis Jocelyn right now, in between Ennis Jocelyn and Lexington. I'm sorry, is it Lexington? I'm not sure. I think it is Lexington, but we'll find out.
It is Lexington.
So the body that was found yesterday was extremely decomposed and dismembered, okay? There was body clothing that they found on the remains of the individual that was found inside of this pump station, about 20 to 40 feet in depth in a wet well. This is all wastewater, okay? So there is no video cameras on this specific location for this main lift station. This lift station is called Perry Place Pump Station, okay? And it only pumps sewage to the Oso Bay treatment plant, which is going to be on the other side on Ennis Jocelyn near Texas A&M Corpus Christi. What it does, it gets treated and it moves out to the bay so that you won't throw waste, like completely wastewater. It has to be cleaned up, right? Okay. That being said, there may be new evidence that shows some type of wrong or foul play, okay? Foul play is heavily suspected at this time. There's just no way Caleb Harris picked up a very, very heavy manhole cover and entered into this manhole cover, put the manhole cover back on top of himself, and, you know, ultimately passed away, right? And I'm not saying this is Caleb Harris. I'm just saying, just due to the proximity, we have heavy suspicion, right? Now, we got a third police officer here.
Not a lot
on
of police
location.
there.
But with that being said, we're going to show you this ditch area. This ditch area was heavily searched during the time that Caleb Harris went missing, okay? All right, we know about the 15 to 36 inch diameter pipe that goes into this lift station from the sewer. And the sewer comes from directly across the street, okay, from this lift station or pump station. That's the Cottages. That's where Caleb Harris went missing on March the 4th, okay? So somehow, some way, on March the 4th, early in the morning, his roommates made a missing person case request to the Corpus Christi Police Department. They said Caleb Harris went missing. He's a Texas A&M student, okay? He was going to school for environmental science, right? He was heavily involved in fishing. He was getting ready for the next day for his school. He had an exam. He was making good grades. He was heavily involved in school. And he just disappeared, right? Why would I say it may be Caleb? Well, we're literally across the street from where Caleb lived. Those are the Cottages Apartments. If you look up Caleb Harris, where he was last seen at, he was last seen at the Cottage Apartments. These are going to be the Cottage Apartments that you see across this cornfield, guys. Okay? You literally can see it. Now, this is where they found the body yesterday. Now, if you can't follow me, I'm sorry, I can't do much for you. And so, just follow me here for a second. Let me try to explain this to you. Okay? So this lift station is heavily maintenance. They clean out the pumps routinely. Okay? Now, no one's had, even during the search for Caleb Harris, there was no one inside of this wet well. But due to the tropical storm weather that we just had, all the flooding, all of the water, rainfall, you know, that seeps into our sewer lines and could have pushed a body. But the only place, right, and let me try to align this a little bit better for you guys. You see those cones over there? Those cones, that's where the manhole, it goes underground. You know, I'm not sure how deep the manhole goes under, but it crosses the street. This is how the sewer lines get to this lift station. So across the street, which is going to be Ennis Jocelyn, right there. There's going to be Ennis Jocelyn and Williams, right? That's Williams and Ennis Jocelyn. You can probably see that green sign right there to the left-hand side of your screen. You see that green sign? That's Ennis Jocelyn and Williams, okay? That sewer line flows directly to this manhole, okay? It's all about elevation. This is how it engineers. This is engineering. It's elevated downward to this lift station so that the sewer water can come into this lift station. But it is directly aligned with Williams Drive. You see where those cones are at. And the police were there for some reason yesterday. I have not got any information confirmed yet as to why they were inside of that specific manhole. Okay? But we're looking at manholes. Now, if you go and to your street, you may see a manhole and it says sewer on there, right? Wastewater sewer or sanitary sewer. There's a plate there. It's a very heavy plate. So that leads me to believe that Caleb or somebody, whoever this individual is, was put here intentionally, okay? This is not an accident where someone walks into a sewer line and gets flushed into a pump station. Unless the pump station is where could be the location of a crime scene, okay? And I don't think, and the only person that's missing in this specific location, which is right across the street from on March the 4th, Caleb Harris disappeared. Okay. Now, get this. There's 117 pump stations here in the city of Corpus Christi, okay? 117 pump stations, and the nearest pump station is going to be by the movie theater on Williams Drive. There's a Century 16 movie theater. Right beside that, you have another little small building like this. It's a pump station. It's called the Williams Pump Station. Okay, that pump station pumps water this way as well to get to this Perry Place pump station to be transferred into the Oso Bay treatment, because they treat the water. Okay, now that leads me to believe that the body could have been placed somewhere nearby in a sewer line, right? It could be here, it could be somewhere nearby, but anywhere, and it's going to have to come down to the schematics, because there's two ways that this sewer line is connected to this pump station, right? And it's very highly unlikely that it was placed in a 15 to 36 inch sewer line to be flushed into here, unless the body is heavily decomposed, which police have already stated that the body that was found in this pump station was heavily decomposed. But get this, from what I'm reading, and I just saw breaking news from another news source, that there was body remains found at the Greenwood pump station or recycling water treatment plant, okay, on Greenwood in Saratoga. I was there last night. I knew about it, but that's on the other side of town. Are we looking at two different bodies here? Are we looking at two different people that were put into sewers? Are we talking about a serial killer here? Are we talking about what is going on? And we haven't heard yet anything from the police as of yet, okay? I mean, are you actively, or anybody actively searching for Caleb Harris after yesterday's news? Or are we dealing with a homicide? Are we dealing with an accidental situation going on here? Because there was a second, there's a second person that's possibly in the Greenwood recycling water plant off of Ayers in Saratoga. That doesn't make any sense. How remains from Ennis Jocelyn can end up all the way on Ayers in Saratoga, right? Because this lift station doesn't make any sense, right? Are you actively searching for Caleb Harris right now? Because if you are, we're out here, right? So, breaking news. There's remains that have been found at a second location. It's a water treatment plant on Ayers and Greenwood. Yesterday we found body remains here on Ennis Jocelyn. Now, isn't that very, very interesting to know that there's human remains? I mean, look it up. I think it was on KIII. They just broke the news right now. I was there last night. I didn't know that they found human remains there. But that's on the other side of the town. I mean, you're talking about a good 15 miles away. I mean, the Corpus Christi Police Department is going to have to start answering some questions, don't you think? Because there's no video footage, right? This thing is not an... All right, I'm breaking off here. So, anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. You know, I want to know...
I have a lot of questions.
How you feel and what you believe.
That was great reporting on boots on the ground. See, it's always good to get people's perspective. You know, I'm not there, boots on the ground, so I don't know. But that guy says he was out there searching numerous times, and they looked throughout that area at that time and did not see a body. I mean, that area has been thoroughly checked, and now suddenly human remains are found at a pumping station. And then he said an additional pumping station, which I was not aware of. What in the world is going on here? That was my cat, by the way, that was making those noises. I know people in the chat were like, what's that baby crying? That's my cat. I had to go pet her to. She wanted attention because she hadn't seen me in the last week. Is it foul play or not? Now, what I would love for someone to do, or boot to the ground, was go to that pumping station if they can and see if it's locked. See if there's actually like some sort of way to get in there, because it is walking distance, pretty close walking distance to the cottages where Caleb went missing. I'm sure it would only take like 5 minutes to walk there. Magnolia said a message. People in the chat are saying what are they saying, Magnolia? Let me see. Magnolia's running. People in the chat are saying it's called a manhole for a reason. A man can fit in it. I mean, that's the way I'm leaning. And I'll be honest. Okay, so my opinion on this matter is I believe that the remains are Caleb Harris. I do. Let's be real. I mean, who else could it be? Just the whole circumstances of how Caleb went missing by all that waterway there, just with the proximity of this station. To me, I feel like it's Caleb Harris. Okay, so that's like I'm literally like almost like 100% on that. But then my question is, was it foul play or was not? And also, how in the world did he end up getting there? I mean, was he in the water ravines there, and then somehow the tropical storm or the water pushed, him through it somewhere like a manhole or something like that? Or did he fall in a manhole? And then my mind's thinking foul play in a sense. Is this foul play? Like, did someone really try to do harm to him during the early morning hours, the beginning of March, and dispose of him somewhere relatively close to where he went missing and vanished? So, it has a lot of different elements to this that makes me go, that's why we're like talking about it. But I also found two similarly situated, here's a case out of Eugene, Oregon. It's talking about, I instantly started Googling around and seeing, has people ever ended up in a sewer before? And I found two cases where people ended up like in the sewer. Because to me, it's like, how did he end up, if it's Caleb or it's a person, it's somebody, how did they end up in the pumping station, at the bottom of the pumping station? But then my mind's also thinking too, was he carried over and put inside the pumping station? Like, is there a lock? How did this worker find these remains inside a pumping station? Did they go in there? What did someone, like, was it locked or unlocked? Can people get in there? What in the world's going on here? But I found this article here, which is interesting here. This is out of a case out of Oregon. It looks like Eugene, Oregon, and it's saying, how did a human body end up in a sewer? And we're talking about a case here. It said, how did a human body end up in a sewer? I worked here for 32 years, said Dave Brentenstein, wastewater operations manager for the city of Eugene. And this is the first for me. A city crew found the body Wednesday while performing twice annual maintenance with a pump truck used to remove grease and debris from the wastewater well. A 10-foot wide, 25-foot long, 26-foot deep underground vault. With the big vacuum truck, we will take off the floating debris that's in the well and get it out of the system so the system can operate reliably. With the discovery of the body Wednesday, pump trucks were pressed into a new role as crime scene investigation tools. City crews will remove several truckloads of wastewater from the well where the body was found. The wastewater could be strained for any potential evidence. The medical examiner will conduct an autopsy on the body. Police said the body has been removed from the vault. The age and gender of the deceased were not immediately known. 3 ways into the sewer system. And here's where it gets interesting, folks. Maintenance was last performed at the Filmer Street in September. Accessing the closed system isn't easy. The wastewater collection system is entirely enclosed, separate from anything else, even separate from septic deliveries. A locked fence ringed with barbed wire surrounds the Fillmore pumping station where the body was found. Once inside the fence, access to the vault where the body was found requires a key too. At the stations, we have vault covers we keep locked. The station is secured either by fence or the vaults are always locked, so those are really well secured. The only other ways into the city's closed sewer system via manhole covers, which require special tools and techniques to open, or down a drain at a business or home. About 800 miles of wastewater piping handles 20 million gallons of wastewater daily from kitchens and bathrooms in Eugene, Salem. Pipes ranges from 8 inches in diameter at homes up to big transmission lines that measure 72 inches across. Wastewater enters the Fillmore station via a 52-inch diameter pipe. Into the region's wastewater system, sewage flows downhill by gravity. To move wastewater through the system, 47 pump stations like the Fillmore site pump the liquid along the larger pipes until it reaches the treatment plant. So, to me, they're saying two ways: via a manhole, or which requires special technique. A person cannot lift a manhole. You're going to need a group of people. If you have the tools, you can. A group of people lift a manhole. Or out of a home or business. But in this particular case, like we showed, there was sightings and pictures of people that found manholes that weren't covered in that area. That's why I said potential lawsuit down the line if, in fact, Caleb was out there getting the Uber Eats or out there strolling around because he was intoxicated and walking along a little bit, maybe take the picture over there by the bridge, the last picture, and then walked into, into that field there and fell into a manhole. That's where I'm leaning at. That's why I like this guy who's boots on the ground, which he's doing. He does. That was a great report. I love the boots on the ground. I love people's opinion, especially people. I take people's opinion seriously that have been out there looking, because they know more than us. They know we're not there. They know the circumstances. Some of these people have been following this case extensively. So the person's opinion, his name is Eric, that we just shared. He's been there. He thinks it's foul play. Me not being there and, analyzing all this key information and things like that, or people are putting out, makes me feel like Caleb fell in somewhere. Cynthia Breyer said in the comment, "My husband fell through an open manhole in a parking garage. His underarms caught him at the last minute. Thank God he was covered in sewage." Thank you for that comment, Cynthia. Cynthia said that. So she's sharing an example of her husband falling in a manhole. I think people do. Plus, it's nighttime, folks. It's the middle of the night. It's dark. It's dark. Imagine just walking. You can't see nothing at night. And imagine just walking and just going boom and fall. Like how wide are these manholes? Is there other ones around there that we don't know about? This is, again, I'll show you the map. This is where people claim that, like, this is where he went missing. This is the station. People are claiming there was uncovered manholes in the area. And it's very feasible that if he took the Snapchat photo and continued to walk or something and staggered into this field here and just fell in. In a field, in a manhole that's not covered, you're not going to see. You're not going to see. Now, he was talking about remains found here and in another station. Maybe. Once he got down, and again, I don't want to be graphic, and this is all speculation, and I don't want to offend anyone, but we want to understand what's going on here. I'm almost at 100% convinced that it's Caleb. That's how I feel. I mean, it can't be anybody else in my mind. Can it be anybody else in your mind? It can't be anybody else in my mind. It's right there, folks. Okay, so that's how I'm feeling. You might feel otherwise. You might feel it could be somebody else. It's somebody. But then it makes me wonder. He was talking about additional human remains found at another station. I'm just wondering, once, and I want to put the photo down, once someone falls into a manhole and then maybe gets stuck in there, and then maybe the course of when they had all that tropical rain and lots of water, so much. When water rushes, it's like, a lot of pressure right there. And if someone's in that pipe there just stuck, it's going to push a lot of pressure, and it might break off body parts. And body parts might go to one location, and body parts might go down to another location. That's how I'm thinking, basically is if you put something deep down in there and it's stuck there, but water's just going to keep pushing. I don't know. But again, a lot of people in the chat are saying foul play. We'll wait and see. That's all we can do is wait and see, but that's the latest on this particular case. I wanted to actually show another article if I still have it. I don't think I have it available here, but there was another case of another person that falling into a manhole. So the family of Caleb Harris is very quiet. our prayers and thoughts go out to the family of Caleb Harris. I can't imagine what they're going through. And then also just the unknown. I think, personally, I've always said the unknown is worse than the known. The unknown and not knowing what's going on and not knowing things eats you alive. It eats you alive. It eats your conscience alive. It keeps you up all night. I'd rather know something than not know something. I mean, it's just, so they're going to have to be on this standby because you heard they wish, the family of Caleb Harris wishes this is not Caleb because they're not giving up hope, apparently, that they feel like Caleb could still be alive, right? And that's, every parent should feel that way, all the way up to to when you get the answers you're looking for. You want to hope for the best. But the unknown, and just now for just up to 6 weeks, just unknown and stuff like that. I mean, but you kind of have an idea. So maybe it's a little bit better to have an idea, okay, well, is this Caleb or not? But the police contacted them for a reason, and I think they did that because it's, the police are going to also be tight-lipped about things, right? They don't want to put out, I mean, I know they were saying the internet, a lot of speculation. Some of the media outlets are like, the internet is speculating, but no evidence right now that it's Caleb Harris and everything like that. But who is it then? If it's not Caleb, who is it? Who is it? And if it's another person that lost their life, then what's going on here? And here's another thing that people haven't considered. If it's not Caleb Harris, well, what about if someone fell in a manhole, an uncovered manhole in that area, and it's someone else? And maybe Caleb Harris, if it's not Caleb, maybe Caleb is down there too, somewhere, because there's uncovered manholes in Corpus Christi where some of these people that vanished just walked into a manhole and just went down. This could be a totally different person. Again, there has been some missing people years back, but I haven't seen anybody recently. If you know some names that are recently from that area, like within the year or two, let me know. But this, are people falling in manholes around there? He suggested there was a serial killer. I'm not so sure I want to go to that level. But, the information is put out there. It's always good to get perspective from people on boots on the ground. So we're going to continue to monitor this case. Let's pray for the Harris family. Let me know what you think in the comments. JLR Investigates back in Florida. We'll be monitoring, and I'll let you know if anything else breaks on this case or what people are saying, or if there's any other live feeds or streams going on. We will continue to cover. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. We got a lot of things coming out today. So stay tuned. I'll be doing lives throughout the day on catching up on some cases and getting information out for all of you. So we're aware of what's going on in the United States when it comes to these terrible, terrible tragedies, man. Terrible. Oh, well, we're back safe. We had a amazing trip in California, got some amazing coverage, bringing awareness to a crisis that is a national security threat. That would be the border stuff. I've seen some wild stuff documented, so some videos are coming out on that. So stay tuned for that too. Thank you for watching me this morning. Good morning. I got in late last night, so I'm drinking extra coffee. Then I got to do a lot of domestic duties around here, catch up on things, spend a little quality time with OJ, and we're gonna have a productive day. 6/20/2024. You guys be safe. Thank you for watching, and appreciate all the members, the subs. Appreciate y'all. Love your comments. Keep them coming. Let me know what you think. You guys have a good morning. Stay vigilant. Be safe. We cover true crime 24/7, 365 on JLR Investigates. We'll talk soon. Have a good morning, everyone. Peace out.